Okay, today we have a 2013 Audi A6 Quattro. Check engine lights on. Customer says that the vehicle is running a little rough at idle, especially on first starts. I retrieved code 2187 in the DME, or the ECM or PCM, whatever you want to call it, and that indicates an intake leak. So what I did was I hooked up my smoke machine right here, right into the intake, right through here, and pressurized it with smoke. And what I found was we have an intake leak coming right out of the timing cover right here. So at one point somebody sealed this and the cam cover and the lower timing cover, and I think the timing cover is a little warped. So what I'm going to be doing today is replacing the timing cover, clearing out the faults, cleaning it up, and then replacing the oil separator as well, because when those fail, the diaphragm inside breaks, causing an internal vacuum leak, which can start sucking seals in. Then the pressure inside the crankcase isn't regulated the way it's supposed to be, so that can cause seals to blow and other problems as well. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, I want to get the connector off right here. This is for the cam pickup. And then it looks like you have 3 T30 Torx bits. Once you get the 3 out for the cam pickup, then there's another T30 down here for the oil dipstick. It's right by the oil filter. And it's kind of dumb they have a dipstick, they don't have a tube in here. You got to check it all from the dash, but I guess you could buy one. Okay, once you have all the 3 bolts out of here and the dipstick tube bolt out, you can go ahead and remove the sensor. Okay, and then you want to remove the 5 10mm bolts for the timing cover. Okay, once you get the 5 bolts loosened up, go ahead and remove the timing cover. I went ahead and bought the factory timing cover. It comes with the gasket for the cam pickup, but it doesn't come with the seal, so you're going to want to get one of these seals. Camshaft adjuster magnet seal. I also got the factory one of those. And then you're going to want to clean up the gasket really good, the surface. And it is crazy windy today. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my shop, the insulation is just blowing in and out like crazy because of the wind. And all the sirens are going off outside. It's pretty crazy today. And here's the gasket, the little O-ring for the cam adjuster. I'm gonna wanna pick that out. It's super brittle. Yeah, it's just breaking. How brittle it is. It's falling apart. And this is why you want to replace these O-rings. That would have definitely leaked. Okay, so the new covers come with a new gasket, and the bolts actually hold the gasket onto the cover. I don't know if you can see this, if I can take this one off. Oh, so you see, once you take the gasket off, the bolt will fall through, because the shoulder of the bolt right here goes through the cover and then onto the gasket here. So I like to buy the new cover kits because it comes with new gaskets and bolts. And then go ahead and just reinstall the new cover and tighten up all the bolts. One thing I forgot to mention is you might want to put a little RTV gasket maker right where the cam cover connects onto the head. There's a little slit right there. And if you add a little bit of RTV right there, that could help prevent leaks in the future. Okay, now that I replaced the timing cover, I ran it and checked for leaks. I have no more leaks, no more intake leaks on this gasket. So now I'm going to replace the oil separator, and then I'm going to check the fuel trims, test drive it, and make sure that the fuel trims are right around 0 on the short term, and the long term should creep back down. I'll make another video on that another time. I highly recommend using factory parts on these Audis. This one here is an aftermarket. It's a good company, but you just never know with aftermarket what's going to happen. So I always just make sure I'm using factory parts on these Audis. I have put in aftermarket parts right out of the box. They just don't work. So I'll show you guys how that's done. So you're gonna want to remove all these connectors. You just lift up on these gray tabs right here, and then you can push them in and pull up. Okay, once you got all those connectors out, you're gonna go ahead and remove that T30 Torx bit. Okay, you're gonna get this all these connectors slid back a little bit, and then you're gonna go ahead, remove all these Torx bits for the oil separator. Disconnect the breather hose right here. Do that by pinching these sides right here, and then just pull it out. It'll probably be easier to remove these coils. All right, once you have all the bolts out, you can go ahead and pull it up, and there's a hose that attaches to the inside of the oil separator that you gotta just work out, and it goes right inside that hole right there. And then you just want to clean up the surface area a bit with a rag. Okay, go ahead and install the new part. Make sure the gasket is all the way seated before you start. Go ahead and work in that hose. There's a spot for the hose. There's a hole right here that this hose, you guys can see, but it has a spot where it slides in. Okay, these just have to be snug. They don't have to be crazy tight. I just use a 1/4 inch for everything. There's a tiny gasket. Not sure what the torque spec is, but it's probably like 25 Newton meters, somewhere around that. Okay, breather hose. And then go ahead and put your coils back in and all your connectors. So I finished installing the oil separator and fixing that vacuum leak. And now the fuel trim numbers went back down after I idled it for about 15 minutes. You can see the short term is staying around 0. It goes from positive, about 1, and then it goes negative. So it's adjusting the way it should. I'm hoping the long term goes down after I test drive it a little bit. I could do a fuel trim reset, but I want to see if it adapts on its own first. So there you have it. You guys have any questions, please subscribe and ask the questions you have. I'll be doing more videos about fuel trim in the near future.